You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR 680, and today the Giants fail to complete the sweep as they fall to the Texas Rangers at Globe Life Field 7-2. Keaton Winn returned from the IL today and looked very pedestrian in his first start back as he gave up all 7 runs for the Rangers in just 4 1/3 innings pitched. Not great. Then the Giants, their bats were lifeless. Ramos, Conforto, and Flores all failed to collect a hit today, and the offense sputtered as a result. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you are not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for checking us out on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're tuning into the show, we appreciate it. And make sure to check out the Locked On Giants daily show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. The Rangers got on the board quick in this one after a uneventful first inning, top of the first for the Giants. The Rangers came out and loaded the bases with nobody out. Keaton Winn's first pitch of the game plunked Marcus Semien. I mean, he is not he's not been very he didn't have the control today. And Keaton Winn's been struggling with that control as of late. I mean, even prior to him going on the injured list, his prior 2 starts before this one were really bad. And today, more of the same for Keaton Winn. That ERA is close to 7 now on the season. In the bottom of the first there, the Rangers, as I said, loaded those bases with nobody out. And he did it via hitting Semien with a pitch, gave up a single, and then another walk. Wyatt Langford, the really good rookie for the Rangers, drives in 2 runs with a single. Langford, as a lot of you pointed out, has not had the best season this year so far. I did mention that he was a Rookie of the Year candidate, and he still is, because this is one of the best rookie prospects in all of baseball, and it is June 9th. This guy is gonna turn it on, I think, in the second half of the season, and everybody knows who this guy is. He's gonna be in the conversation for that Rookie of the Year award by the season's end. I would bet it. I mean, I wouldn't bet on Langford for winning Rookie of the Year, but I bet that he is in that mix towards the end of the season. This guy has all of the skills that you want in a big leaguer, and I think this guy's too good to be as pedestrian as he has been to start the season for the rest of the season. Wyatt Langford, nonetheless, singles, drives in 2 more runs here. Then with runners at first and third, the Rangers put on the double steal. You rarely see this in the big leagues where you have the runner on first, steal second, and if the throw goes down, you send that runner from third to home. This was like every game in Little League that this would happen, but rarely do we see this in the majors. But with Adolis Garcia, who had got from down the line from third to home in 6 seconds, just crazy sprint speed, so fast, got a great jump. And that's even with Pat Bailey throwing the ball down to second. Bailey's got a great arm, great pop time, and didn't matter. The throw that came in from second was a little offline. I think they would have at least made it a close play if the throw had been better, but the throw needed to be right on the money, right on the third base side of home plate, low. Instead, it was on the first base side of home plate and high. So Pat Bailey did not really have a very good opportunity to snare that one and make a play at home to get Garcia. By the end of the inning, by the end of one, Rangers have a 3-0 lead. And that was insurmountable for the Giants today. Then in the bottom of the second, Semien smacks a 2-run homer, which was kind of a cheapie. It was his 11th home run of the season. The expected batting average on that ball was less than 100. Would have only been there were I think 20. I think it's only a home run in 25 of the 30 parks that Marcus Semien home run in the second inning. And it was on a hanging slider that Keaton Winn left up in the zone. Threw a lot of hangers today. Keaton Winn, the splitter didn't split like it normally does. He just didn't look like he had much of it out there on the mound today. And he pitched pretty good in his rehab start. But the Giants, I think they might have, I don't know, man. I think they might have rushed him back a little bit for this start because they are reeling so bad with these starting pitching right now. The bullpen is getting way too many innings. They needed Keaton Winn to come back today. I think in a perfect world, he gets another start down in AAA before he comes back. Lo and behold, he has to start today because the Giants are so thin right now with their starting pitching staff, and the bullpen still ended up having to do a lot of work today. Keaton Winn couldn't get out of the fifth inning. He only lasted four and a third. In the top of the third, the Giants did get one of those runs back. Singles by Casey Schmidt and Trenton Brooks put runners on first and second, and then a Pat Bailey single drove in Casey Schmidt, cut the Rangers lead at the time to 5-1. And that was like the closest thing to a rally that the Giants offense had today. This whole team was just quiet on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you have Pat Bailey did get that RBI, but everybody else at the top of the order, Ramos, Flores, Conforto, between those four guys, Ramos, Bailey, Flores, and Conforto, one hit between the four of them. That's not going to get it done. That's a collective 1 for 12, 15, 1 for 15. Not good from the first four slots in your batting order. You got to have more production from that spot, from those guys in this lineup, like flat out. You need that. Ramos, I mean, he's been carrying this Giants offense lately. Today, he didn't get on base, 0 for 4, no walks, the one strikeout. You can't be all on this rookie to carry this entire offense every single time the Giants come out there. I mean, somebody else needs to step up. Yes, Lamont Wade Jr., not having him is a big deal. And also, we should mention Matt Chapman got a rest today. Casey Schmidt got the start at third base instead. But when you're missing Matt Chapman from your lineup, Lamont Wade Jr. from your lineup, Ramos isn't hitting, Conforto isn't hitting, Wilmer isn't hitting, I don't know where the offense is going to come from. I mean, injuries are really, they've been a big part of this season. There's no way around it. I mean, no one wants to sit there and play the what if game with injuries, and the Giants still need to find ways to win games with these guys injured. It is tough though. It's not a valid excuse for a big league team to not be able to score any runs when you're missing, just one or two key bats. But them missing their leadoff hitter, Jung-Hoo Lee, and them missing Lamont Wade Jr., that's a big deal, man. This lineup is a lot different with those two guys in it, and the Giants just don't have it right now. And Conforto is not, he's, I don't know if we can still say he's recently off the IL, but he came back off the injured list, returned to the lineup within the last couple of weeks, and he has yet to really find his swing back since he's returned from injury. So this Giants offense, I mean, like we said, we kind of cautioned yesterday that this offense has not really been playing well, and they've been saved by the long ball in these last couple games. The Wilmer Flores grand slam, Heliot Ramos. I mean, the Giants hit 6 home runs over a 2-game span. That's not something that they're going to be able to continue to do. The way that this team can manufacture runs and score and compete with the other teams in the MLB is to you lean on your starting pitching, which has not been great for the Giants. So you can't really do that right now. In string hits together, doubles, extra base hits, getting guys on base, drawing walks, maybe bunting guys over there. We know they're not going to steal any bases. This team is very slow, but the Giants aren't doing any of these things. I mean, I don't think they had an extra, aside from the Mike Yastrzemski home run today, they didn't have a single extra base hit. They also only had one walk. I mean, when you're not able to string hits together and you lack power, you're not going to score any runs. The Giants are not going to be a home run hitting team this year. We've all known that. We knew that to start the season, but we thought that this team was going to be able to get on base and go gap to gap and move guys around, start that carousel going round and around. But they really have been pretty bad at doing that lately. As I said, the last couple games, they've been really bailed out by the long ball. Last night, it was Ramos with the home run. 2 games prior, as I said, the Giants combined for 6 home runs in those 2 games prior. And today, they get the one long ball from Mike Yastrzemski. Nobody's on base. It's not enough, man. This lineup is not very good right now with all of these different things going on. That Mike Yastrzemski home run, we should mention, 103 miles an hour off the bat, 382 feet. It cut the Rangers lead to 5-2 there in the fourth inning. Wyatt Langford also picked up a triple in this one that he ended up not scoring in the inning, but he did pick up a triple in the bottom of the third. I still think that guy's going to be in the conversation, in the mix for Rookie of the Year by the end of the season. In the fifth inning, Keaton Winn was pulled after putting runners on second and third with one out. Randy Rodriguez came in relief and immediately gave up a single, which scored those two runners on second and third. They were charged to Keaton Winn, and that his final line ends up being 4 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, the 1-hit batsman, 7 strikeouts, the 1 home run to Marcus Semien. And as we said at the top of the show, his ERA up to 6.94. That's a big number, man. After the way that he started this season, we thought that this guy was going to be mini Logan Webb, and he was for the first couple games. I mean, the ground ball efficiency, the way that he was pitching deeper into games, very efficient on the mound, throwing a lot of strikes. It's all kind of petered out. I mean, he did throw a lot of strikes today. He filled up the zone, 47 strikes of his 40 of the 69 pitches he threw. 47 strikes against 69 pitches. Nice. But Keaton Winn, not very nice on the mound today. You never want to see your starting pitcher give up 7 runs over 4 1/3. That's you're not going to win baseball games that way, especially when your offense can't hit. And that's where the Giants are right now. And after the fifth inning, neither team scored. We just kind of coasted to the end on this one, just trading outs. And, Bruce Bochy got the win, got the better of the Giants in this one. With the loss, the Giants fall to 32-34. With the win, the Rangers are 31-34. It's a tough go for the Giants right now. They finished the road trip. They go back to Oracle Park tomorrow to play the Astros. They close out this short road trip 3-3. They do go 500 on the road, which is better than they have been this season. They've been pretty bad on the road. So going 500 is better than that. But I think when you're playing 2 road series against teams under 500, you are hoping for better than just going 500. Yeah, the Giants need to start beating these teams that they're better than, these teams that are under 500. The Giants need to start beating up on them because they're really bad against teams that are good. We've talked about this. We talked about it last time. The Yankees, the Phillies, I mean, all the teams, the Dodgers, the Giants cannot compete with teams like this right now. If they want to make a postseason run, they got to win the games that are winnable. And this is a very winnable game against a team that's beatable. The Giants haven't been able to sweep guys very often this season. They haven't been able to close out those third game sweeps. And it's going to be something that kind of bites you later on, especially when you're in turn getting swept by tougher competition. The Giants need to start beating teams that they are better than. Today was rough. I mean, Keaton Winn's first day back from IL, and he's going against Nate Eovaldi, who was really, really, really good last season, and also all through the playoffs last year on the way to the Rangers World Series win. And he had it going tonight against the Giants, this afternoon against the Giants. And when you got a pitcher like that who's that locked in, it's tough. Eovaldi went 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. He had 5 strikeouts on the day. Just seemed like he was in total control the whole time, just on cruise control. The Giants didn't really seem like they had anything going against him. As I said, the Giants only really had that one offensive rally where they were able to string together 3 base hits and score a run. That's it. That's where that ended. We got to take a quick break. More on Keaton Winn on the other side, and why this Rangers lineup specifically was a pretty tough task for him to come in and face, especially being a splitter, a guy who relies on the splitter a lot. The Rangers were ready for him. We'll explain on the other side. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order online plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/T-M and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. And today's show is sponsored by FanDuel. Summertime means baseball, the NBA Finals, and more, and you can bet it all on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet everything from the Finals MVP to who's going to hit one out of the park. I mean, I love those single favorite ones, but very hard to hit on, but always makes the game more fun. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and add a big win to your summer bucket list. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants 7-2 loss to the Rangers in the final game of this 3-game set. The Giants looking for the sweep against Bruce Bochy's guys. They couldn't pull it off. And Keaton Winn really struggled today, man. It's his first start since May 14th against the Dodgers when he just got ripped by them. After he had a really strong first month of the season, he went 3-3 with a 3.18 ERA and 28 strikeouts, a WHIP under 1. April was a great month for Keaton Winn. In May, not so much. He went 0-3. We're 0-3 record-wise with a 18.36 ERA. 18.36 ERA. That is atrocious. I mean, my God. 17 earned runs in 8.1 innings pitched with just 5 strikeouts and a WHIP of 2.64. 2.64 walks, hits per innings pitched. That's really bad, man. That just terrible. I mean, you could find, any number of minor league pitchers who can go out there and do the same thing that Keaton Winn was doing. He was battling through that injury, came back today and looked pretty similar to what he looked like in the month of May. So month of June, not a much better month than May so far for Keaton Winn. He's going to have an opportunity to turn it around, as obviously it's still June 9th. He's got a little bit of time this month to put the wheels back on before the All-Star break, but the Giants really need Keaton Winn to start stepping up and revert back to baby Logan Webb that he was at the beginning of the season with the crazy ground ball rate. He's the splitter ball pitcher. We know that. Keaton Winn relies heavily on his splitter. His usage rate is over 41%. And this season and last year it was up over 55%. However, the Rangers hit pretty well against the splitter in 2024. They're actually the major league leaders in batting average against splitters, batting .244 and slugging .449 against the splitter, and OPS 734 on against that same pitch. It tough, man, when that's your bread and butter to go up against to come back from your stint on the injured list and having been down bad in your last few starts. The first start that you get is the team that is best suited to hit your arsenal. And Keaton Winn, I mean, as I said, in a perfect world, I think he gets one more rehab start down in AAA. But the Giants, with all the injuries to starting pitching, with Alex Cobb being delayed in his return, with all these guys, Mason Black didn't really stick the way that we hoped he would up in the bigs. Started to get hit around a decent amount in his last few starts. All of a sudden, at the beginning of the season, we talked about how deep this Giants pitching staff was, the starters specifically. I mean, this was the position group that would have been least likely in my mind to be thin in the midway point of the season. Seemed like whatever happened to this pitching staff, the Giants would probably be able to weather the storm with all of the arms that they have. I mean, maybe we start to see some of the other younger arms like the Carson Wisenhunts of the world starting soon. I mean, maybe post All-Star break, we'll start to see some of those guys. But I mean, they need some reinforcements from somewhere. I mean, with Snell hitting the injury list, with Beck still down there, with Cobb being delayed constantly with his injuries. They need somebody to come give them some life. Keaton Winn did not do it today, man. And Spencer Howard, we should say he's been a nice little find for the Giants. The long reliever stretched out into a 4 or 5 inning starter. Like that's great, but you need starting pitchers to actually pitch deeper than the 5th inning sometimes. So far this last whole cycle around, I feel like Logan Webb's the only guy who's given this bullpen some relief. They're constantly throwing 4 or 5 innings a game. You can't run through 3-4 relievers every single day. It's going to catch up to you eventually. The bullpen actually didn't give up any runs again today, despite the 7 runs that the Rangers put on the board. Randy Rodriguez, Taylor Rogers, and Luke Jackson all actually pitched pretty well. Don't tell your friends that I just said Luke Jackson pitched pretty well today, but he did. Luke Jackson's ERA down to 6. Not great. But Taylor Rogers low-key has been one of the Giants' better relievers as of late, and he's I think pitched. I don't think he's given up a run since like the beginning of May. So Rogers has been very, very efficient for the Giants on the mound lately. Kind of quietly, because the other brother Tyler gets a lot more love than Taylor does, especially lately. I mean, Tyler's been one of the like all-star candidates for the Giants, and Taylor has more or less been relegated to these long relief roles. But yeah, he has not allowed a run in his last 8 appearances. Last time he gave up a run was May 3rd, and he struck out 20 batters during that stretch since that time. Today he didn't pick up another strikeout. He gave up 1 hit in his 1 clean inning of work. Also gave up a walk as well, but no runs across the board again for Taylor Rogers. For what it's worth, bullpen's been doing their job, man. It's about the only position group on the Giants that has really been doing their job. As we got to shift our focus now to the offensive struggles today. The Giants only were able to muster 2 runs. We'll break it down on the other side. Quick break first on the Locked On Giants postcast. Stick with us. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever. And that's why I want to tell you about the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon to get started. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants really struggled against the Rangers as they had high hopes of closing out this series with a sweep. Instead, they go back to San Francisco holding a 7-2 loss, 3-3 on this road trip, and it could have been a lot better. You want to see the Giants start. I mean, I know they won this series, but you want to be better than 500 on a road trip where you don't play a team over 500. The Giants I think are kind of showing who they are. They're painfully average. To steal a quote from Steph Curry talking about the Warriors earlier this season, the Giants, just down the street from Chase Center, same vibes, man. Painfully average this year. A team that has a lot more potential than they're showing with all the injuries, with all the with all the guys who have been struggling, the free agents who have not contributed that the Giants have signed. I'm talking about Blake Snell, Jorge Soler. It's been painfully average this year. And one of the bright spots, Heliot Ramos, he can't do it all every day. He went 0 for 4 today. Flores 0 for 4. Michael Conforto 0 for 4. When you have 3 of your first 4 batters in your lineup going 0 for, you're not going to win a lot of games. It's not like the bottom of this order is lighting the world on fire. I mean, today they actually did kind of generate the only run that they were able to score. Mike Yastrzemski with the bomb. Schmidt and Brooks were a big part of that rally that Pat Bailey eventually drove Schmidt in on. But this offense is bad, man. Like they have not done a good job all season long driving in runners in scoring position. Today they only put runners in scoring position 4 times today. They went 1 for 4, which isn't a bad average, but you need more than 4 runners in scoring position to win a game. You just do, unless you're going to come up and hit home runs every time, which we've already talked about. The Giants are not going to be able to do that. They leave a total of 4 runners on base in this one, and they just didn't really have base runners, man. I mean, they had 5 hits and 1 walk. They had 6 total base runners in this game. That's a tough way to win a game. Puts a lot of pressure on your starting pitcher. And when Keaton Winn is making his return from IL, that's not a recipe for a win. That's how you go back to Oracle Park with 500 road record on when you play 2 teams that are under 500 in your road trip. This team is painfully average. We can't expect that Ramos is going to carry this team every single day to a win. Like, he can't go every single game getting 3+ hits. That's not realistic. You need other guys to start contributing. We've talked about this before. It's tough with Lamont Wade Jr. out. The guy who was probably going to be the Giants all-star this year. You're missing your best bat. You're missing the on-base percentage leader for all of Major League Baseball. I mean, that's the guy who every time this lineup comes around, more likely than not, this guy's getting on base. And when you're missing that the guy who just keeps the batting order moving and turning over, it really hurts you, man. And you need other guys to step up. Wilmer Flores has done a great job the last couple days stepping up. Today he didn't really do it. Michael Conforto had a home run a couple days ago, but he hasn't really shown much consistency since coming back from the injured list. Tyro picked up a hit today, but the Giants as a whole, only 1 extra base hit. It was the Mike Yastrzemski home run. And when Mike Yastrzemski is the only guy giving you extra base hits, again, not a way to win a ball game. I mean, this offense is really struggling, man. They have struggled for the better part of this whole season, outside of that one road trip where they kind of seemed to turn into the comeback kids, and Matos won NL Player of the Week, and now he's back down to AAA. Man, this is why I wanted Matos to stay up with this team, because games like this one, I feel like you need some life in the lineup. I mean, this lineup seems kind of lifeless, and guys like Matos and Ramos give you some life in this lineup. The young guys who don't get too down on themselves. And today the Giants went with a lot of backups in their lineup. I mean, no Matt Chapman. Brett Wisely got the start at short. Trenton Brooks got the start at first. I mean, no Soler for the DH today. So the Giants did not have their A team out there, so to speak, but it shouldn't matter. You should still be able to score more than 2 runs in a game like this. I mean, Nate Eovaldi, really solid pitcher for the Rangers, tough matchup, but you got to find a way to start winning these games, to start closing out these sweeps. The Giants have missed a lot of opportunities this year to finish off series that could have been sweeps and end up going 2-1 again in these series against teams that are under 500. They're pedestrian. They're not very good teams. And the fact that the Giants can't close these types of games out tells me that they are just as pedestrian and average as these other teams that they're failing to beat in these moments. I think the Giants are going to hang around and make a run for that last wild card spot. Like, they'll be in the mix all the way till the end of the season. But I mean, this team is just middling around 500. They'll probably do that for the rest of the year. Like, we'll be talking about the climb back to 500. I mean, every single post-game show, it feels like, for the entire season. Today, the Giants now with the win or with the loss are 32-34. They had a chance to get back to 500 with the win today and couldn't pull it off. And it's back to the drawing board as you go back to Oracle Park. You got the Astros coming in, who are struggling this year. It is still the Astros. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're Altuve and that pitching staff, like they're a good team, but I mean, record-wise, not a very good team this year, but we know what this lineup can do. We know that this is a perennial playoff contender. So I wouldn't take them too lightly, despite what their record says. The Giants will also see the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, on this homestand. The Angels also putrid. So the Giants have more opportunities against teams under 500. They need to have a winning record on this homestand. They flat out need a winning record on this upcoming homestand. If you cannot split worst case scenario, going 500 on this next homestand between the 3 games against the Astros and 3 against the Angels. That wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be very lackluster. It would be very painfully average. The Giants need to start winning some games, especially once you return home to Oracle Park, where the Giants have played really well this season, much better at home than on the road. And you got competition that you can beat, that you can handle coming in. The Giants got to figure out a way to score some runs. They got to find a way to have their starting pitchers last more than, pitch out of the 5th inning, please, for the love of God. Can we have one guy not named Logan Webb pitching effectively late in a game that started as well? Like, I'm not even talking like in the 8th inning or in the 7th inning, but like, let's just get through 6. Like, can we get a starting pitcher that gets 6 innings like of efficient, like quality start baseball? Feels like a lot to ask right now, man. Feels like a lot to ask. That's all the time we got for you guys today on the Locked On Giants postcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be coming to you live tomorrow after Giants Astros 6:45 start out at Oracle Park. Giants return home today, and hopefully when they get back to Oracle Park, the wins start to return as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Peace.